All right. Hey, everybody. Listen, it's going to be one of those days. Okay. We got a hot mic, hot day. I got some hot takes. Dare I say, you've got a hot host. Oh, God, who's writing this? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome to the MSP Sales Podcast. Listen, no guests today. It's a BG exclusive. We're going to talk about something that I just recently experienced. And when I say recently, I mean 16 minutes ago. And it was the final nail in the coffin for me to go, I think I should just make a podcast about this. So let me tell you the story. You ready for the deets? I wanted to hire a creative, very high functioning, a great pedigree. I had worked with this person previously several years ago, and I already know I like this person. I reached out to them and was like, hey, listen, I really want to work with you. I worked with you at that thing. Do you want to talk to me? I need somebody who's great at what they do. I want to talk to you. And took them a couple days. They got back to me and were like, hey, totally. Give me more details. I sent a calendar link. They booked a meeting. The meeting time just came and went. They did not arrive. I sent a LinkedIn DM. I sent an email, just very like, hey, we still on for today? Let me know if something changed. Or then an email 20 minutes into a 30-minute meeting going, obviously, hey, let me know if you still want to pursue this. It reminds me of the dozens of times that that's happened to me. And I'm not whining about, hey, you should be more, this isn't like, you should show up to your meetings, nothing like that. First of all, I was the customer. I was the prospect in this meeting. I wanted to hire this person. So yeah, if a prospect is reaching out to you and you're if you're ghosting them, you've got bigger problems. That's not what I'm talking about. Let me give you another story. I started an audiobook production business during the pandemic, and I had standard operating procedures more or less in place. I mean, it was a sort of a lifestyle side gig for sure. It wasn't like a monstrous business. But I had a quoting tool in place. I had all the contractors in place. I had agreements set up. So it was a pretty easy gig. I had leads that would come to me through this publishing company that I had set up a relationship with. So really it was just like author wants to make an audiobook. They send us some information. You give them a quote, then you produce it, and then you get paid. There was a couple that I knew, and they were, like many actors, always talking about how hard it was, and oh man, like it's so hard out here for an actor, and there's a lot of change happening in the pandemic, of course, for actors. So this was like a couple years ago, 2023-ish, maybe 2024. I came to them and I said, hey, listen, I built this audiobook production business, and I can't run it anymore. Do you want it? No money, no transaction, it's just yours. And I had been doing business, blah, blah, blah. It was very easy. It was like, literally, do you want this business? You can start working side projects, super flexible from anywhere right now. Do you want to do it? And they were like inquisitive and what's happening here, blah, blah, blah. Tell us more. We set a time to meet. They did not attend that meeting. And I don't know whether they were like, what's the catch? But like, I knew them, they knew me. It was just a really good offer, and they did not take it. They did not take the opportunity. So many of those times I've tried to hire somebody. I've tried to give away opportunities. I mean, I remember even when I did a lot of voiceover production, I was in this old Facebook group of some old actor friends of mine, and I was like, hey guys, I have a gig. I need a female voice actor like right away. Here's what it's paying. It was paying a very fair rate, and nobody responded. And one person was like, hey, by the way, everybody, this is real. He got me a job. And nobody responded. And you could see within the last week or two, people complaining about how hard it is to get jobs. And it leads me to think, like, especially in the creative world, I can sort of give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because creatives are terrible business people. They don't want to do business. They don't want to write numbers. They don't want to look at spreadsheets. They just want to make pretty things. That's great. That's their job, their superpower. And as we all, like creatives, very common, they become terrible business people. They don't know how to quote, and everything is sort of anarchy because they're creatives and they don't know how to sort of capture lightning in a bottle and recreate it, on demand. But it's frustrating for myself, for example, in these instances as an employer, as somebody with an amazing opportunity for another person. There's no strings. It's very transparent. I have a good reputation. It's not like I'm coming at them all shady. And you offer somebody an opportunity and they just don't take it. They just say no, or they say nothing. They hide, they panic, whatever they do. And you got to ask yourself, why are you doing this? Why are you not taking the opportunities that are coming to you? And then second of all, you have to ask what is this why your life is so hard? Because opportunities come to you and you do not seize them? I think there's some chicken and the egg conversation we need to have here. But I want to unpack that. But before I do, let's pivot this example over. We're talking about creatives who suck at becoming business people because they're really they have a trade, a skill, they love it, they're passionate about it, and it doesn't really exactly have the same skill set as running a business where they deliver and sell that thing. Guess what, Mr. IT guy? You're the exact same scenario. You're an amazing IT guy. You started a business. Respectfully, you might have no idea how to run a business. Maybe you do. Maybe you're amazing. You know better than I do. I don't know who you are. But look, just because you're amazing at your trade doesn't mean you're good at your business. You know that. But listen to me. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. For heaven's sakes. There are opportunities that have come to you that you have probably completely overlooked. Look, these are just a couple examples from the last short period of my life, but I have dozens of those examples of times when I've tried to create something for somebody and they screwed it up. I have examples of being when I was younger where acting opportunities would come to me and I would turn up my nose at them for God knows why. I had no money and it was well within my wheelhouse. But I had some excuse at the time. Usually it was like I was too lazy, to be completely honest. That's at least what it seemed on the surface. But you really you owe yourself to unpack this. We owe ourselves to unpack this a little bit, okay? I actually don't believe there's such thing as a lazy human being. I think only a human being that doesn't have the right cause. It's really, really hard for me to clean my house. I hate doing it, but I like having parties. So when I decide I'm having a party on Saturday, guess what I'm doing on Friday? I'm cleaning my house. No, I'm not cleaning my house. I'm preparing for the party. Because I had the right cause, my work ethic, look, it was suddenly there. I have no problem working and cleaning on a Friday night after work because I get to have all my buddies over in the morning or the next day. So this whole I was too late, I'm too lazy for anything. I don't buy that. I think lazy is a really convenient symptom for what it usually is, which is scared. I'm too scared. I'm scared of quoting that company because they're outside, because I don't know them and I'm worried about letting them down. I'm scared of quoting that business because they're a new industry and I'm not 100% sure I can deliver, or they're bigger than my last one, or they're more professional than average. Imposter syndrome sets in, all of these things, and completely cripples the opportunities that we've been begging God to send us. They show up, we waste them. We owe it to ourselves to have a serious conversation about this, okay? Now, this should be where my lawyer tells me, hey, Brian, remind everybody you're not a therapist, okay? Yeah, I call myself a sales therapist, and maybe rightfully so, but I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychology expert. I dropped out of college, everybody, and I wasn't going to college for psychology. But what I can tell you is that I am a student of my own misfortunes. I'm a student of my own dumbassery, and I have squandered more opportunities than most people should ever squander in a lifetime, simply because I had a lot of issues with imposter syndrome, a lot of issues with it. You get a chance to write something amazing, you get writer's block. You have a chance to sell something to somebody, you don't show up, you underperform, you don't turn the quote in, you don't respond to the call, you don't answer the email. You leave them and you set a meeting and you ghost them, whatever it is. You sabotage it, you underprepare, fill in the blank. You owe it to yourself to become aware of when you do this. Become aware of when you are sabotaging opportunities for yourself. Just simply observe it. I'm not asking you to fix it yet. I'm simply asking you to acknowledge that it happens. Okay? Because accepting and becoming aware, that's a really, really big piece. Once you realize, oh, I do what Brian is talking about. I finally get a lead. I was just talking to Nate Friedman about this. He's got from Tech Pro Marketing and all the marketing agencies. They get somebody a lead that somebody hounded them. Get me leads, get me leads, get me leads. They spend thousands of dollars. A lead responds. A lead says, hi, can I talk to you? And the MSP waits 3 days to respond. That's the same as completely squandering it. That lead is garbage now. They've already set meetings with 3 other people, and you are the lowest on their totem pole instantly if they haven't already made a decision. You wasted it. You begged your marketing agency for a resource, for an answer. You got the answer. You screwed it up. You need to admit that's what you just did. Stop. Don't blame anything else. Blame yourself. I made a mistake. I wasted it. That's really important. That's step 1. Step 2, ask yourself some questions. Starting with, why did that happen? What I want you to work towards is, why did I do that? But you might not be ready to take full responsibility yet. You might be squirming in your chair listening to this. In fact, you might have already switched over to another podcast episode because you thought I was going to give you some little, here's the 6 magic words you can say to make all your problems go away. Maybe you thought that's what this episode was going to be. Sorry, it's not. How about this? All right, do that. Here's 5 magic words to make most of your problems go away. You ready what they are? Why did I do that? That's a magical question. But listen, why did that happen? That's the first question. Start writing it down. What role did I play in this? What could I have done differently? Or what did I think was going to happen? Start writing it down. Just stream of consciousness. Start writing, processing. From there, I want you to go to another person, a trusted friend, a business colleague, a spouse, whoever, and have this dialogue. If it's helpful, send them the list of questions I just said and have them ask you the question, and don't let them let you off the hook. Like, hey, why did you do that? Why did you wait 3 days? And if your answer is, I got busy, then you need to, okay, that seems like a great excuse. What do you think it really was? Well, I was too lazy. Well, laziness is an excuse that doesn't exist. What do you think the real problem was? Get to the real problem. And that, my friends, is the secret to every drop of success I've ever had, is my bizarre willingness to have these kinds of conversations with myself. If you knew how unlikely it was for me to be successful with how many issues I had, like you would look at me differently. If you knew my whole story, if you knew what a freaking screw up I was when I started in sales at 18, I'm talking about like big opportunities where I could make $10,000, $20,000 in commission, and I would just kill the deal in the last meeting. I would just oversell or undersell on purpose. I'd show up late to stuff all the time. Subconsciously sabotaging myself because I was like, well, I do not deserve to make this much money. If anybody knew what a real loser I was, they'd fire me on the spot and I wouldn't have any friends. I had big issues. Okay. Big issues. But dealing with those issues is really the thing that not only helped me get over all of my personal and professional setbacks, but it actually helped me form what is the Feel Good Close. Like, once you understand why people do what they do or don't do what they do, then it could really, really help you build relationships with them. It can really help you sell and empathize and understand. It can really help your career move forward. So that's a question, I guess, I want to ask you. What opportunities are coming to you right? What are the opportunities right now in front of you that you have not yet seized? Right now. What's the free book or a book that somebody's bought for you that would be great, you just haven't sat down and read it yet? Or it's the conference that you heard about that's an exact answer to your question, but you haven't booked the tickets because you've decided you don't have the $300. But you just bought yourself a 6th monitor. These are the questions that I want you to ask yourself. If and when you're willing to do that, we can start having serious conversations about how to actually help you move forward. Because God forbid you invest dollars instead of effort. This is what a lot of people want to do. They come to me, they join my program. I have people who pay me and I never see them. And every week, literally every week, at least 1 to 2 times a week, we reach out to them with handwritten, thoughtful messages to try to see where they went. Hey, what's going on? How can I help? I'm not, no shame, no badgering, nothing like that. Just like where you are, can't wait to see you again. You're welcome at any call. What can we do to help you be successful? Because what happens is they get an opportunity. It's just like that call. Hey, do you want this job? Hey, can you give me a quote? Hey, do you want this audiobook company? The opportunity presents itself. They join my program and it goes, hey, here's the entire path to building a successful MSP. And they don't really know how to take it. They don't believe they deserve it, whatever. And they hide behind busy. They hide behind lazy. They hide behind whatever they want to hide behind. And everybody loses. I've got people now who I'm not helping, which makes me sick to my stomach. They're spending money that they're not getting anything in return for. But worse is that all they're doing now is reinforcing all the negative voices in their head that are going to tell them, that are justifying and defending the imposter syndrome. And then the blame game starts and say, oh, just one more vendor who this isn't going to work for me and blah, blah, blah. Man. CEOs are not allowed to be victims. Give me a break. You can either run a business or you can be a victim, but you can't be both. So give one of them up. And I hope you make the right choice. But you can't be both. This is somewhere between a verbal diary and a charge for you, okay? Somewhere between a thought-provoking conversation and mindless rambling. But that's okay, because I really think there's something here for you. Listen, as I've said this many, many times, but everybody in the world either has a little bit of imposter syndrome or they're a narcissist. Okay? Only true narcissists actually believe that they are completely without fault and that they're never the problem. So you might want to get that looked at. If you have nothing standing in your way, the chances are you have some limitations you're putting on yourself in your own expectations. You might not have hit those limits yet with your current level of success, but you will not rise and fall just to the levels of your systems. You will succeed to the level of success that you believe you deserve, and not 1% more. Because every time you start going above it, the tall poppy syndrome sets in, and you'll get pulled back down to the level of worthiness that you have assigned to yourself. Now imagine the frustration from somebody else, somebody from my point of view, a benevolent third party who has the skills and resources and perspective and has gone ahead and wants to bring you with them. And you then give them money and commit and sign an agreement to follow them, and then you freaking drop dead like a limp, dead sack of nothing and make them yank you up the mountain of success. Imagine how frustrating that would be for somebody like me. Maybe you'll start to empathize more with the sales coaches out here that act like jackasses on their LinkedIn and they're screaming at you. Maybe it's because they're freaking fed up. Maybe they're just sick and tired of caring more about you than you care about you. Maybe that's why they're so intense. Maybe that's why intense people are the only ones who can make it in this job, because it's brutal. It's brutal to drag someone kicking and screaming into their promised land that they are praying for. It's very frustrating for a bunch of reasons. Moral of the story, don't be that person. Don't be the one that somebody like me, that your coach, that your COO, that your spouse, that your salesperson has to drag kicking and screaming over the finish line on these deals. Okay? Don't be that person. Do your work on you. Nobody else can do that inner work for you. Inner work is like cardio. You're the only person who can do it, and no amount of money can make it easier. Okay? You've got to do it the right way, but I promise you, if you just face some of those demons, I promise you, you will get a pound of results for every ounce of effort you put into this level. I hope this was motivating to you. I hope it was maybe a little scary to you. I hope that you feel a conviction inside of you to do something with this information. I hope that if nothing else, this becomes a cautionary tale and you're going to become more aware to make sure that you're not clubbing opportunities to death right before you and then whining that there aren't enough to go around. You know I love you. You know where to reach me. We'll see you on the next one.